Hello, we are Heather Bergish and Denisha Carlin.
Denisha Carlin here, and we're interviewing. What's your name?
My name is Allison Blakely.
Could you tell us about your background?
Sure. I am a former teacher. I taught special education for 5 years in the Portland area, and for the past 4+ years, I've been at University of Oregon as a PhD student, and I am currently working on my dissertation.
Oh, fun.
So just finishing up.
So it does end. Could you tell us a brief overview of the study?
Sure. The study that I sent you guys that I was a part of was looking at single subject research for children who are in inclusive preschool classrooms that have autism, and specifically looking at social communication interventions.
Nice. How long did the whole process take from proposal to written report?
The whole process took, and then the part of the process is then submitting to a journal. So I'm going to include that, was about 1.5 years. We started with the proposal with our faculty advisor, and then that went to our institutional review board at University of Oregon, and then the work from there probably took 1 year until we got a draft.
Okay, so then who approved the proposal once it was drafted?
Oh, right. Okay. So because I was working on this not as a faculty member, I was working on this as a student, it's really important to get your research approved by a faculty advisor. So that was our first sort of stage, was to get that approved by our faculty advisor, who is also an author on the publication. Once we got that, then we moved forward with sending our proposal to the institutional review board, which would be our first author with our faculty advisor getting approval from the University of Oregon.
And how did you pick the research topic?
So the research topic was really driven by our first author, who's now Dr. Sarah Hansen. Her primary area of interest is inclusive preschool classrooms, and she's specifically interested in children with autism. So this was her sort of student project, and because it was such a big project, she needed other students to work on it with her. And because we work in such a small field, you're often going to be lending a hand in sometimes in content areas that you're not as fluent in. So this is one of those scenarios where I'm interested in working with students with autism, but I have very limited experience in preschool classrooms.
What are the most important implications for practice?
So for this particular article, we were looking at doing a review of the single subject research that existed and then analyzing that information. So saying, okay, we have this research group that's done this particular article, this research group that's done this particular article, what do they all mean if we put them all together? So essentially what we came out with were some major themes that across those, that antecedent strategies for working on social communication are really important. So not just the teaching of specific behaviors, but teaching sort of what happens before the behavior. And often using peer-mediated interventions, which is really interesting because Dr. Hansen just finished her dissertation. She used part of this was she used peer-mediated social interventions in preschool classrooms. So this kind of was a line that started years ago, and now that she's followed it through. Also the importance of visuals and the importance of visual modeling, or the utility of visual modeling in classrooms. That was things like that were the major implications.
Nice. What are the key limitations to know about?
I don't remember all of them specifically, but I think from my perspective, because we're looking at just single subject research, oftentimes a lot of people aren't on board with single subject research, so we have to make this, argument that this is still really valid and this is still really great research. If there's a way we can combine single subject research with more larger quantitative analysis, I think that's where this could go in a really exciting direction. So right now it's just not fully believed by all quantitative, I think, researchers who are really interested in big numbers and things like that, where we're still on a very limited analysis level with what we're able to do.
What was your favorite part of the process?
My favorite part of the process was definitely the group that I worked with. We don't all share the same interests, which can sometimes make you think that maybe it wasn't the best experience working with that group, but we all share a very similar theoretical framework, and so that made the process really simple, and it made it just really easy to work with my team members, and we never got into any sort of like struggle as far as theory and where we wanted the research to go. From day one, we were able to kind of all be on the same page and all know where the project is going. And that's, I think, also really important when you're doing a literature synthesis. So you're doing the sort of, I'm going to analyze this study and this study and this study and then try and combine them all together. That takes forever. Like, don't think that is, it sounds really simple, but it takes a really long time. And if you're going to, butt heads about how that's going to go in the beginning, it's going to take even longer. So I was thankful for a great group. Sorry, did you also ask for my...
Yeah, that was the next one. What was not your favorite part?
Thank you. My not so favorite part is definitely the time. And it's not necessarily like my most, like, oh, I'm really excited about this research and I'm really excited about all the things that we did. It was a great learning experience for me, but, definitely not one of my major areas of interest. But yeah, the time that it takes to do a literature synthesis is a big task, and it's kind of mind-numbing, and it's not the most glorious research. You're not in schools actually working with people. You're just reading and analyzing articles.
And which part of the article did you focus on?
So I was primarily on the team for methods, so to be able to analyze the different articles and then to be able to synthesize those into tables and the figure that is currently in there. So I really helped with a lot of those parts, and then helping with the introduction and conclusion. So I helped on those parts, and then I was primarily involved with the methods part.
Very cool. Is there anything else that you'd want to share with us about being a researcher?
I think that when I was in your shoes, I thought research sounded really cool and really glamorous. I did not realize how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into research, and I think that's really a hard message to convey. I wish that more people were excited because we need more special education researchers, and so if anyone out there is really interested in this stuff, I just hope they keep chugging away. Whatever you do, I don't know.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Thank you so much for letting us interview you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.